Welcome learners and participants to this 8-week MOOC on reading and reflecting on text. We are into Module 5, Critical and Reflective Reading. The topic for this presentation is selected to be Indicators of Text Comprehension. We have already gone through and have listened to responding to text. We are also reading the text material which is available on the LMS. So now it's time for us to know the text comprehension. Reading and responding to text is only successful if it is comprehended in a meaningful way. And for that, let us have a quick view of the different levels of text comprehension. Basically, there are 3 levels of comprehension: literal, inferential, and evaluative. When readers read or view a text, that they can understand it on different levels. Not all the readers can interpret or can comprehend in all the levels. That is the reason the levels of text comprehension is very important for us as teachers and teacher educators to know. So, in order to know the text comprehension, let us take a practical example through a method. This method is called the Reading Apprenticeship Approach to Comprehension, the RA approach in short. This method is called RA or Reading Apprenticeship, which is based on the premise that people who have become expert readers can assist learners by modeling what they have learned to do. This presentation will actually give you a practical orientation of how can we comprehend the text. What would be the indicators as teachers or teacher educators? The idea is that a more proficient reader is present to support the beginner, engaging the beginner in the activity and calling attention to often overlooked or hidden strategies. Now, this is a very good way of comprehending the text. So, this can be a very good indicator. This strategy, that is the RA approach, takes a metacognitive approach to comprehension, utilizing various strategies readers may already know. They know how to do, then adding more. So here comes the constructivistic theory of knowing. Let me cite an example. Most readers have learned to make predictions, ask questions concerning meanings like I wonder about, visualize a scene being described, associate the material being read to some other material, and at the end summarize the material. Well, by reading together, the more experienced reader walks the beginner through the process by the learning or by leading them through similar processes. This RA approach, in the light of indicators of comprehending the text, gives us some points of conjecture, some points to ponder. These are the first one, predicting, guessing what the author would write next. This is pertaining to the material of reading. It can be textbook, it can be any piece of reading. However, our concern is mostly for the textbook. However, we all know that we learn from so many things. And since this is reading and reflecting on text, this text can take different forms, different academic forms. Next comes asking questions of the material, such as just now I have exemplified, I wonder about, could this mean? Next, visualizing, trying to picture it in your mind. That gives a very good comprehension. Good authors actually can create this visualizing effect on the readers. Connecting this material to something else you have learned. It's like, so you get an association of your previous read to the present one. Noting, where you think you might need to read something over again for comprehension. This is important. It's not a weakness to read things over several times to understand them. We often go through some difficult pieces over and over again to get out of the meaning of it. And lastly, summarizing. This is an excellent for testing to see if you really understood the main point of the reading. After going through a piece of text, a chapter, or any sort of academic piece of reading, we often summarize it within ourselves. That gives us an impetus and also ensures us that I have understood what I have read. I have comprehended. Being able to read a section of writing doesn't necessarily mean you understand it well. So you have to go through it till the end. There are key strategies to increase reading comprehension. And these are practices such as discussion, reciprocal teaching, questioning, and summarizing help to increase understanding. Taking into account text factors such as genres, literary features, organizational patterns, and text features such as readings, maps, charts, and indices all aid comprehension. And we have already learnt about the SQ3R reading method, which is an excellent responding to text, and that uses survey question, reads, recite, and review as a structure to deepen understanding. So SQ3R is the precursor of comprehension of the text or comprehending of reading material. There is another strategy or method. It is called the KWL reading method. It uses 3 stages. K stands for what you know, W stands for what you want to know, and the L stands for what you learn. As we started with the RA approach, that is the reading apprenticeship approach, which uses a mentorship model where a strong reader helps a weaker reader gain useful reading strategies. So these are some of the practical method or strategies which can have indicators, within their strategies. As teachers and teacher educators, we can take the cue from these strategies or method and can apply to the real situation. Well, we can try some of these reading approaches and see if one works well for us. These strategies definitely help to engage you, us, and all of us and make us active in the reading process rather than just be a passive receiver of information. This helps us to remember and understand. Isn't so? Now here is an exercise for all of you. This exercise is just now said the KWL reading method. You may try it. Well, try using the KWL method on a simple task that you would like to know more about. For example, how to make a great cup of coffee, how to make a delicious margarita, information about a medical issue someone you know has been diagnosed with, tips for painting a bedroom, anything you like. For further understanding or having more supplementary strategies or tips on comprehending the text, you may click on this hyperlink and get the details of the 7 keys to comprehension.